Shalom to the nation of Israel. This is Barazal coming in the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shaiba Hashem, Racha Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles of the great millstone and to the hopeful elect pushing his word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. So I'm just continuing on the last video with martial law, right? Because it's coming. And like I say in other videos, we already have a mild version of it. But it's about to get ramped up real fucking fast. Okay. So we're gonna start at Daniel 12:1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And Michael is the angel that's right under Yahushai. Right? If you want to know how important Michael is, he's the angel of war. Right? His name means who is like God. That's what Michael means, who is like God. Right? That's why, I guess I'm a side tangent, that's why anyone who's named Michael, if you see in the world, or anyone you know with that name, they're great at something. They're just great at something. Right? Depending on how they are in the world. Like, yeah, Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, Michael J. White, if you know who that guy is, he's a martial artist / actor. Michael B. Jordan. I'm just going off the top of my head. I know there's more. But yeah, basically anyone with that name, they're just great. In your normal life, you know anyone with that name, they're just great at something. Like, great. So that's why names have power behind them. They have vibrations, because vibration is just energy, right? Vibration is energy. So that name vibrates on a certain energy that's close to Yahweh. Not saying everyone else is not close to Yahweh. It's just that the name Michael means who is like God. So there's levels to everything, right? So that's a side tangent. But the point is that we're talking about Michael. So at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children thy people, which is Israel, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. And that time of trouble is talking about Jacob's trouble. So Michael, who's under Yahushai, is going to come back to deliver the elect and the multitude, right? But the elect is coming for the elect to deliver them out of this trouble that's about to happen. We're in the midst of it, but we're going to hit the climax, right? Because we're in trouble right now. It's not like 2019. We're in 2022. Things are not the same like it was in 2019. So we're in trouble right now, right? Israel's being attacked. The whole world is being attacked, but it's more focused on Israel. And more focused, really, the elect. Because at the end of the day, the 2/3 are going to be destroyed. So it's more about the elect, right? So Michael and Yahushai, because Yahushai is first. Yahushai and Michael and other angels are going to come back to deliver the elect and destroy this place, right? That's what it says, thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book, right? So the elect are the ones written in the book, right? Now Israel is in the book. It's talking about Israel, because Israel's going to come back. The 2/3 are going to come back through the elect, but they're not the ones written in the book. It's the elect, right? Because they're the first fruits under Yahushai and Yahweh, and then Yahushai under Yahweh, right? So Israel's still written in the book, but the 2/3 are not written in the book. It's only the elect are written in the book. As many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life and some to shame and everlasting contempt. So, like, there's two ways to look at that. You're going to have the ones that are dead in the dust, in the ground, and they're going to wake up. Because the Most High, Yahweh is going to bring them back to life. The elect, the ones that died for this ministry. He's going to bring them back to life, give them those immortal bodies, get them beat up in the chariots. They're going to get beaten up first. It talks about that in Revelations. Also, right, you're going to have the ones that have woken up, this other side to it. You're going to have the ones that are going to woken up from that confusion state of dust. Because when you throw dust in someone's face, they're confused. They're in a state of panic because they don't really know what's going on because they can't see. So some people are going to be, that dust is going to be taken off of their eyes and they'll be able to see. So some of those people also are going to be woken up to everlasting life. Because they're going to come into the truth, right? Which are the elect. Or the elect are going to do that. But the others, right? Other ones that awake from that dust, right? They will be waking up to everlasting contempt. So like, then see, there's two ways to look at it also. Then you have the ones that, let's say when Yahushua comes with the angels, and then they wake up from that the state of confusion, so to speak, and they realize that they were wrong about everything they were doing, everything they were saying. I'm talking about Israel, right? I'm talking about Israel. Those Israelites that realize that they were wrong, and then you see the chariots and they're like wrong, then they're going to be calling on Yahweh Shem Shai. At that point, it's too late because Yahweh Shem Shai, Yahweh said he will remove himself, he will hide his face, right? That's what he says, seek me when he may be found. So at that point, it's too late. So they're going to be in contempt. And then they're going to die, right? They're going to die. You're going to catch those missiles. Because you fucked up, right? But it's okay. You're an Israelite. So you're going to come back in the kingdom. And then when they come back in the kingdom, right? When they have the full remembrance, because that's not all of them are going to, that dust is not going to be taken off of all of them. Some of them are going to stay in that prideful state until the missiles come, right? But when they come back in Israel, everyone is going to be in their right mind, right? All the Israelites. But the ones that were the 2/3, they are going to be in everlasting contempt, right? And we can go to the word contempt, actually. Open disregard or disobedience, authority of law, right? So what it says here, okay, see, there we go. So it says, I just missed that part. So it says, I'll read it again. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall wake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. So yes, some are going to have shame, and some are going to have contempt. So, okay, perfect. So when that dust gets removed off them, right? That dust, some are going to be, they're going to be woke up to disobedience. They're actually going to, they're actually not going to listen. Because you can think like this, when you bring in the truth and you tell them like, look, this is this, right? They just buck up against it, right? That's one example. And then we have Esau, when Yahweh Shem Shai comes down, right? It says that he's going to be prideful to the end. So even when he sees everything, it doesn't matter. He's still going to be disobedient because that's who he is, right? That's who he is. Then you have some people where, Israelites, those are Israelites. Some of them, when that dust comes off and they realize the chairs are here and they come, they're going to realize that, oh, wow, I was wrong, right? Then they're going to try and call on Yahweh Shem Shai, but it's too late, right? Some of them are going to do that. But when you come back in the kingdom, the Israelites, I'm talking about, all they're going to come back in shame because they're going to realize what they did, right? What they were doing was wicked. Everything they were doing was wrong, right? But then that's what will be for a period of time, and then we're gonna tell them, if we're one of the elect, we're gonna tell them like, it's okay, lift your head up, man, because we understand why they did that. It was part of prophecy. That's all it was. Okay, so I don't want to go in that because that's a whole different topic, right? So now we're gonna go to. Just find out where I ended off. Slakia. Okay, we have one more script. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament. Right? So the scripture also reads that wisdom maketh a man's face shine. Roughly paraphrasing. The ones that are wise, which are the elect, are the ones that have the wisdom of Yahweh Shem Shai. It's a glow that they have. Like you see when a woman, when she's pregnant, says, oh, you're glowing. It's the same type of thing, right? But on a bigger scale, right? A bigger, huger scale. That's why people are it's just like back in Yahweh Shai, when Yahweh Shai was on the earth, he couldn't hide. Wherever he went, people followed him because he was a light. He is the light. He was shining so bright that because the place was darkness because it was the world. The world was dark. But when you're in a dark, let's say you're in a dark room, you're trying to find your way out, or you're just in a dark room, and you see a light shining, you're going to see it. It's going to be bright, especially if the room is pitch dark. So you want to follow that light because that's the way out, right? Obviously, the light's coming from somewhere, so that's a way out, right? So it's the same thing. Yahweh Shai, when he was on the earth, that's why everyone followed him, because they seen, or either they knew or they felt it, that he was the way, right? With him, everything's clear. But only a certain people can follow him, right? Only the elect. That's why there was one time, I think Yahweh Shai healed a man in a cave that had the legion on him, and he wanted to follow him, and he said, you can't follow me, because he's not one of the elect. He wasn't one of the elect, right? So now that was in Yahweh Shai's there, so we're going to do the same thing he's doing. So in this truth, you're going to shine in a certain way. You're going to have a glow because you're vibrating on a wavelength connected to Yahweh Shem Shai, which Yahweh Shem Shai is Yahweh's pure energy, and so is Yahweh Shai. It's just like his father. So they're light, they're pure energy. So you're going to be vibrating on that wavelength and connected to them. So you're going to shine too, because you're getting these scriptures, you're getting this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, right? You're going to have the faith, you're going to have the fear. So you're going to shine so you're going to shine. So you're going to attract people to you, right? And it also says, as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever, right? And you're going to shine because you're going to be a beacon, so the elect are going to see that, right? And they might be drawn to you, they might start talking to you. So that's how brothers bring other brothers into the truth, that stay and keep grinding and keep working, and they solidify themselves in the truth, and they ground themselves, and they keep growing, and then they bring other brothers in, more of the elect, right? So that's how it works, because only the elect are going to be the ones that are going to stay. A lot of people are going to be drawn to you, whether it's left-hand side or right-hand side, but the elect are the ones that are going to stay when you give them this truth, right? Right? When you remove that dust from their eyes. Because it says some are going to awake from that dust of confusion to everlasting life, some to shame and everlasting contempt. So it just depends what category they fall in, right? Right? Especially during martial law times where things get crazy, if you're a man of the Lord, you're going to stand out. You can't hide, in a sense, right? We won't be on these corners prophesying, because that's when the Most High is going to remove us. But people that encounter you in your lives are going to message you and call you. It's like, hey, can you help, blah, 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 right? Because there was something different about you than everyone else, right? That's why you have to stay close to Yahweh Shem Shai. You gotta, because he can take that off of you, because you don't know if you're one of the elect. None of us know. We believe in sincerity and truth. We have faith that we're one of the elect, but we don't know if we're one of the elect, right? We don't know, because if we knew, it would be too easy, right? If everyone knew who they were in their past lives from the beginning till now, would they actually work? Would they actually push his ministry? It's like, well, yeah, I already know I'm one of the elect, so I'm good. Right? I don't have to work. I don't have to do anything. Because you're still in the flesh, so that demon's going to jump on you. The flesh is going to be like, I don't have to do anything. That's why you don't know. That's why you don't know. Right? And it's good that you don't know. Because it's a test. Since you don't know, it's Most High Yahweh Shem Shai is going to see what you're going to do. Do you actually believe, or do you just kind of believe? Right? So Zechariah 13:8, just try to keep it moving. It shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, which is the 2/3 of Israel. But the third, which is the elect, shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord Yahweh is my power, right? So right, 2/3 is going to be taken out, which is like I said. I read previously that some of them are going to wake up when that dust is removed. They're just going to be disobedient. You can see it. You see it when you remove some of that dust off of them. They buck up against you, right? Because really the dust is still on them, right? Right? Or they're in some shame, right? At the end of the day, the 2/3 are not gonna repent. They're not going to call on Yahweh Shem Shai. They might call him when it's too late. But at that point, it's too late. Right? But it's all about the elect. So with what's going on, as how things get turned up, as the heat gets turned up, he's really getting just turned up for the elect, right? It's to refine the elect, because only the elect are going to get refined from it. And the ones that are not, the ones that are stubble and hay are going to get burnt up from it. So a lot of people are going to die when this heat gets turned up, because they weren't precious jewels, they weren't precious stones, they weren't gold, they weren't silver, they were just hay and stubble or wood, right? So this heat that's going to get turned up, the elect are getting refined from it, right? So when martial law really gets ramped up, when things get crazy, the elect are just going to get stronger. The elect are going to get purer. The elect are going to be calmer, right? Because they're the elect, right? And I'll read 9 again. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, right? So the elect are going to call on the name of Yahweh Shem Shai, and I will hear them, because those are his sheep. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord Yahweh is my power. Right? So Daniel 12:10. Daniel 12:10. Many shall be purified and made white, which is the elect, and tried. Right? They're being tested. Because at the end of the day, the elect don't know they are the elect. But the elect are going to do the things of what the elect will do. But the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. Right? So the wicked, I can say that right now, the wicked on the earth are the ones in control, like in these governments, like I'll say it in my other videos, right? The red man, they're being wicked. They're being wicked. Right? So the wicked are doing wickedly. Right now, with everything that's going on the planet, the restrictions, all that stuff, martial law, government, forcing the people to do things. Right? The wicked they're just being wicked. Right? And it says, and none of the wicked shall understand. And none of the wicked don't understand. Right? Because the whole world, everyone in the world is just, you can accumulate them as being wicked. Right? Because you have the wicked and you have the ones that are being wicked. The wicked are the Edomites, right? And you have the Israelites who are being wicked, but they're not the wicked, right? So there's a difference, right? None of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. So even the funny thing is, you have Edomites that are just being wicked, and then you have the Edomites that are the wicked, but they don't understand why the Edomites are being wicked. They don't understand why this is happening. Why are you doing this? Why are you... It doesn't make any sense, right? That's a lot of things they say. It doesn't make any sense, right? But the wise understand what's going on. They understand, the wise who are in the truth, which are the elect, they understand why all these stuff is going on, because it's prophecy. They can see. They can see why the wicked are being wickedly. They can see why the people don't understand what's going on. The scriptures also read, if Satan is divided against Satan, how shall his kingdom stand? Roughly paraphrase it. Right? Because they're both prideful. They're prideful people. Right? They're just prideful. So of course they're not going to understand why another prideful person is doing something. Because they're both prideful. It says pride comes before destruction. So the next thing after that pride is destruction. So this place is going to be destroyed very soon. Right? But the main thing is, many shall be purified and made white, which is the elect. Right? So all this is just, all this stuff that's happening is just the main thing. Well, I'll just say two things. The main thing is to purify the elect, refine them, get them ready to make them white for Yahweh Shai when he comes so he can take them. And the second part is to destroy this place. Destroy this place. Right? This place has to go. That's how important the elect are. Right? And there's other things too, but those are the main things. Those are the main things. So go to Zechariah again. 14:2. Oh, slack. Zechariah 14:2, for I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Right? So like martial law, when that happens, they're really gonna be coming for the Israelites because they're trying to get the elect. A lot of people are gonna die. A lot of children are gonna die. A lot of women are gonna be raped. That's what the word ravish means, raped. Because you got at that point, it's gonna be like military men are coming in, and these, like I said in another video, military men, when they go to, they're men of war. The police, yeah, they deal with small versions of war. They deal with battles and conflicts. They're not really of war, right? But it's like you think of it on a smaller scale. The military, army men, they deal with war. These guys have all seen combat overseas. They've done things that you don't even talk about, right? So over there and overseas, it's war. Just like in war, dispose of war, there's women. So they probably fight the armies, whatever, and then there's women left behind with kids. I don't know what they do, but I know with the women, right? They rape them. They take them and they rape them, right? It's been like that since ancient times, right? So that same thing is going to happen here. So a lot of this stuff is going to happen, right? It is scary. If Yahweh Shemeshai is not protecting you, you're in some serious trouble, you know? And half of the city shall go forth into captivity. Yeah, so they're going to take a lot of the people, right? Put them into prisons and concentration camps. Because they enforce that martial law, because now they have the armies they have to actually have the power to do it. Because the police is not enough. You're going to need to bring some real force. This is the army, right? The rest of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Right? So now we're going to go to Nahum. Just want to keep going. Don't want to talk too much. But you can see the point that I'm making, right? There's a lot of things going on because this is a big movie production that Yahweh's doing, right? He got his main star, which is Yahweh Shai, and then you have the mystery, the elect. Who are the elect, right? There's a lot of mysteries. Who are the elect? And you have, then you have the red man who's being brought to light over all the centuries. The guy who's behind all the scenes of all the wickedness, right? But then right? So it's a big production Yahweh's doing, right? And he's the director. So if he's director, that means he controls everything. Is it not? The director controls what happens in the movie. Who's the wicked? Who's the evil person in the movie? Who's the good person in the movie? Right? What happens in the movie? Who's gonna know who's who? The director controls that. That's why the scriptures say Yahweh, roughly paraphrasing, he kills, he makes alive. Or sorry, not that one. He forms light, and he forms good, and he forms evil. Roughly paraphrasing, right? So he's a director. He's a director. Okay, so Nahum 1 and 7. The Lord Yahweh is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble, and he knoweth them that trust in him. Yeah. Right? We talk about him being a stronghold, a strong tower, right? And only the elect are going to run into him. Right? Only the elect are going to do that. So we're going to go to Mark 13. Okay, Mark 13 and 19. For in those days shall be affliction, such as was not from the beginning of the creation, which Yahweh created unto this time, neither shall be, and except that the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, had shortened those days, no flesh should be saved. But for the elect's sake, whom he hath chosen, he has shortened the days. So that's how important the elect are. That's why you've noticed time has been speeding up. We're already in 2022. I remember when it was 2019. And then, they talked about, this a virus being found in, they said China at the time, right? And then, and then now we're in 2022. It's like we went in a time capsule, right? So now we're going to go to Isaiah. I'm kind of all over the place with topics because my main focus was martial law, but there's a lot of things that are incorporated with that. If you really know what's going on, there's more things happening than just martial law. There's so many things connected towards that. That's going to initiate other things or other protocols. You want to say, right? If you know what's happening in the movie, Isaiah 59:19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun, right? And we're in the west. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him, right? So when, because the nations are over here. We're in North America, and then Central America. All the nations are here. First of all the tribes are here, and you have majority of all the nations are here, right? And there's still in other countries too, but they're in this. The majority of them is here. That's why Babylon is the hub of the world, right? Which is America. But right here it says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. So back to, like I was saying, martial law, right? They're going to initiate the military. The military, like I said, they've seen war. When you've seen these movies, when these guys are ready to invade a house, they're ready. They're in the house within seconds. You don't have time to react. And let's say you're one of those jakes that carries a weapon. By the time you go to grab your gun, they're going to really pop you in the chest 2 times. That's it. You're done. And that was if their mission was to kill you. They might just, taser you, put you in handcuffs, and then take your woman, and then pop her. Like, you don't know what's going to happen, right? You don't know. But the point is that they're going to come in like a flood. They're going to come in quick. And you're going to not going when say if you're in a house and let's say there was water, water just came out of nowhere, just flooded the house. What can you really do at that point? You can try to run, but this is water, man. You're kind of finished. You just know you're finished. So you need Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai to help you. That's why it says, so shall they fear the name of the Lord Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun, right? So the ones that fear the name are the elect, right? The elect. Now, Israel does fear Yahweh, in a sense. You can say that, because they do have the zeal, but not according to knowledge. Because when they get into trouble, when they get into really trouble, then they start calling on the Lord. Oh God, please help me. I know I've been wrong, but if you help me out this time, I'll be good, blah, blah, blah. So they do fear Yahweh to a certain degree, but not according to knowledge, right? But the ones that really, truly fear Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai with 100% fear is the elect, right? And I say that because it's talking about the elect here, because the elect are the only ones that Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai is going to raise a standard to save them, because a standard means a shield. Standard means like to flee, run, hide, disappear, vanish. So something spiritual is going to happen, but the Most High is going to stop the military from coming in, and they're coming in like a flood to take that member of the elect. He's going to do something to make it stop, right? So I'll read it again. Verse 19, so shall they fear the name of the Lord Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy, who is the enemy, right? Esau, Edom, the red man, shall come in like a flood. The spirit, the spirit of the Lord Yahweh, right? Yahweh is spiritual energy. He's pure energy. So he's something spiritual, is going to happen. Shall lift up a standard against him, right? Against the enemy. So it's going to be against the enemy, right? And it's because you fear the Lord, because you're one of the elect, right? But even then, you don't really know if you're one of the elect. Until you get beamed up into the chariots, then you know you're one of the elect. Until you're in the chariot, that's when you know. Until then, you're a servant who's doing the best of his ability to serve the Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai with all sincerity and truth and faith. Right? And he's just helping you because you're doing the right things. You're doing what you said what you're supposed to be doing. Until you get in the chariot, then you know you're one of the elect. Right? And in verse 20, and the Redeemer shall come to Zion, and unto them that turn from transgression, and Jacob saith the Lord. Right? Yeah, so he will come. But it's only the ones that turn from the transgression. So that's the elect, because all of Israel's not going to turn from transgression, right? Like I said, sometimes you remove some dust off of them, and they'll buck up against you. They'll buck up against you. They'll be disobedient and start talking shit to you. Sometimes you remove the dust off of them, right? And then they get all woe is me spirit. Woe is me. So that their sins weigh them down. So the elect are the only ones that are going to take that and be like, okay, I fucked up. Okay, how do I make it right? Like, how do I get better? Like, I want to know the Most High more, right? They repent, and then they just, they grow, and they want to, they try to search for the Most High. They try to look for Him. They try to get closer to Him, right? So they're the ones that are turning from transgression. Transgression of what? Transgression of the law, which is sin. But at the end of the day, we're not saved by the law. We're saved through faith. But that doesn't mean you throw out the law. Because if you truly believe, then you're going to practice the law to the best of your ability, right? So now we're going to go to, we're almost done, Jeremiah 11:22. Jeremiah 11:22. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, behold, I will punish them. The young men shall die by the sword. Their sons and their daughters shall die by famine, right? And Israel, I'm just going to talk about Israel, because the whole world is going to go through it, the famines and stuff, but really it's Israel, because Israel is the Lord's people. That's the Lord's child. We're going to talk about Israel as a nation. That's his child, right? And his child is being disobedient. So he's going to punish them. That's what you do with a child, right? Being disobedient, I got to punish you, because you need to correct yourself. And only the elect are going to benefit from that correction. The 2/3 are going to be disobedient from that correction. They're going to get more, they're going to buck up even more to the point where they'll die. Some of them will die because they're being prideful, right? They'll die. Some of them, will just keep being disobedient. Maybe the Most High will save them for later to take them out, right? Right? And on top of it, it says right here, I'll read it again. Therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, I will punish them. So I will use martial law as an example. When that army comes and martial law happens, that's a way of the Most High punishing them, punishing Israel, the 2/3, right? The young men shall die by the sword, because what's going to happen when you get the army in the streets, these young jakes, these hotheads that have guns, they're going to like, oh, we got to fight back, blah, 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 blah. And you see that in the movie The Purge. I think the last one, when they was doing it, like it was the Purge when it first started, and they're doing it in the projects. You see these jakes grabbing their guns, but Esau, the red man, he has guns that you haven't even heard of. He has heart attack guns. He has drone guns that have like flying drones that have guns on them. You thought drive-bys were your thing? They have flybys. They have military strikes. They have aerial drones that shoot missiles. Man, like you're not gonna win. You're not going to win. But, Israel is going to do it because they're 2/3, right? So, therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, Yahweh, behold, I will punish them. The young men shall die by the sword. So, a lot of them are going to die by the gun. Their sons and daughters shall die by famine. So, these young children are going to die by lack of bread, which is, you can already see that's going to happen. It's happening already. The famine's already starting. It's because everything's about gradualism, right? That's what you need to understand. It doesn't happen quick like that. It happens slowly. A lot of things happen slowly, right? Especially when you're dealing with Esau. He does things very slowly, gradually, so you don't take it in. Because if you do it too quick, people are going to see it, and they're going to react. He doesn't want you to react. He wants you to figure out till when it's too late. And when it's too late, that means you're already cooked, right? So these things, if you have the spiritual eye to see, you can see these things are already happening. They're already happening. They're slowly happening. Right? So now we're going to go to Nahum. Almost done. Well, this is a long video, but needs to be done nonetheless. Nahum 2:9. Take ye the spoil of silver, take the spoil of gold, for there is none end of the store and glory out of all the blessed furniture. She is empty and void and waste, and the heart melteth, and the knees smite together, and much pain is in all in all loins, and the faces of them all gather blackness, right? So when this happens, all this stuff, people are gonna have this face of like they're gonna be in that deep depressed state of death and just negative emotions, negative feelings, negative everything, right? They're not gonna care about money, gold and silver. They're not gonna care about it. They just take it, right? Because all that stuff is gonna be meaningless to them. They don't care, right? And this is going to be Israel. This is going to be the 2/3. They're going to be like this. Right? Because they don't feel Yahweh Shem Shai. Now the last one. This is the one I really wanted. Yeah. Lamentations 1 and 2. She weepeth sore in the night, and her tears are on her cheeks. Among all her lovers, she hath none to comfort her. All her friends have dealt treacherously with her. They are become her enemies. Right? Now, you can look at this because Israel is also referred to as a woman. Right? All the so-called friends that these Israelites thought they had are not their friends. Because remember, you're a slave. Right? Everyone's against you. So that's what's gonna happen. Like when martial law and all this stuff happens, people that you thought you were friends, they're gonna deal treacherously with you. Right? And you're gonna be crying, you're gonna be by yourself. And you're gonna be by yourself because you don't have the Lord. Right? That's one way to look at it. And I have it also with Esau, Edom. Right? Because Esau, Edom, Babylon, that harlot, all her enemies are going to turn against her. All her enemies are going to be turned against her. Right? Or sorry, all her allies are going to turn against her, become her enemies. Slack. Right? So there's a lot of things I said in this. There's a lot, which tells you there's a lot. A lot's going to happen. A lot's going to happen. There's so many things intertwined and connected with what's happening. But the point is that martial law is a big... Now, the main factor is when they initiate the charagma, right? But, to do that, to get to that point, they're going to need the military, like on the ground. So this thing with the blockade is going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen. Because, it's going to be very interesting. So anyways, I don't want to talk too much. I hope this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect. That pushes word and truth across the four corners of the earth. And until next time, shalom.